Show. Always Irish. Show. Always Irish. Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. Pat, I think you're in already.
Oh,
I never
Hi,
took
everyone.
you. I'm all out of sorts, Pat.
I know.
I'm out of my routine. I'm scaring the golfers. I have no microphone. I'm going to get the bill from the Townhouse Association or whatever is going to come for all the things that I've caused the golfers to do while they're trying to putt out on this green and I'm yelling. So thank you, everybody, for bearing with me. It's been a week where we're out of sorts. I haven't been able to take calls like we're trying to do the best thing, the best we can. Pat, what a great way to end the year. If you had to be in this game, what a great way to end it. Shit.
I'm taking receipts right now.
Yeah.
For all the people who said Notre Dame wouldn't win 10 games this year. What did I say at the beginning of this season, John?
10-2. That's what you were thinking. You were not.
I didn't say 10-2.
No.
I didn't say 10-2.
Don't do this to me, Johnny, Florida style. Where now? Oh, I'm echoing, Pat. I can hear it echoing around the whole.
How come you're so calm with Goolsby, but as soon as you get on with me, you're screaming already?
I can hear my voice echoing like.
Yeah, but it's dark. There's nobody on the course.
It's just funny, man. They're not used to a lot of noise around here. But all I'm saying is you wanted 10 wins in the regular season. Don't tell me you wanted the 10th one to come now.
Of course I would. Of course I wanted. John, hold on. Time out. I wanted 12 wins in the regular season. But I live in reality, and I didn't think this team could get to 12 wins in the regular season. And I thought this team could win 9 games. This team won 9 games. And then they won the 10th with the bowl game. Congratulations to Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, that's me. Go on.
What the hell was that?
It's the ESPN because I have that tab. I don't have my extra screen, so I have the tab open to pull the stats. And then ESPN won't let you mute it, so then they want to play their car commercial. That's what happened.
John, we did it.
What a good way to end the year. Well, we didn't. It's calmed down a little bit. I mean, we won this game that we didn't want to be in, but if you had to be in.
No, I don't care. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about we made it to the end of the season.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there were some close calls, but yeah, we're alive by the end of this season.
The only thing I regret right now, is that nobody can call in today and tell me to go F myself. Like they did after the Ohio State game.
Well, they're just going to put it after the Clemson game. Old school way. They're just going to have to type it this time. It's great. But really, the idea is everybody knew this wasn't like the dream bowl to end up in. We all had bigger goals than being in this bowl. But the reality is if you had to be in it, and then you have all the instability and all the moving pieces, you did better than what I expected them to do today. I expected them to win. Yeah. It looked a little better than what I thought. And I love it, quite frankly. And there was a lot of young guys all over. For this moment, you did the best you could do. I couldn't ask for much more.
So this show can easily go 2 ways. It could be a retrospective for this football team in this season, or it could truly be a look forward. And I think it needs to be a look forward because this defense, let's get out of the Oregon State, their coach, their players. Yeah, Notre Dame had that too. Notre Dame's defense absolutely dominated.
Yeah.
They're so good. And if anybody is sitting here and watch this defensive performance today, watch this defensive performance all season, and isn't sitting there pushing their desk up with a freaking full staff, man, this defense is going to be better next year than it is this year.
Yeah.
I think with what they're returning, with what they're bringing in, and addition by subtraction with certain players, I think we are set for a really good defense next year when it comes to this Notre Dame football team. The best in the country.
It's going to be a good blend. And when you got the news of a couple more guys that were going to come back up front, especially Mills and Cross here, that was like, man, I'm excited about the blend here. And I think it's going to be great. I thought that the Notre Dame defense was going to be the most reliable unit on both sides of the field today, and that showed from day one. So they did great. Let's hit a couple of these chats. I don't want to miss them when we get too far into it. So the defense, I went in thinking they were going to carry the day, and they absolutely did.
Absolutely did.
The other thing is, for the long layoff and all the moving pieces and the new O-line and a new starting quarterback, for all the moving pieces, Notre Dame came out ready to go. Long drive, scored right out the gate. Played good defense. Went 94 yards or whatever down the field. I agree. They started good on both sides of the ball. And for a bowl, you always worry about that in a bowl, not a primetime bowl. And then you don't have your starting quarterback. I was impressed with that. They came out ready to play. Played good on both sides of the ball to get off to a good start. I love that in this moment. That's exactly what I asked for, and I got it.
Exactly. No, I was very happy with the defense. I was very happy with the way they played. I thought the tackling, the one issue I always had with the defense was the tackling. I thought the tackling was much better.
Yeah.
In this game. So.
Yep. Let's hit a couple chats. Yep. James Amodi, $10 holler. Great game. Hope to see a lot of Notre Dame people at the ND Virginia game tomorrow. Praying for Jade Mickey's family. Enjoy the stream. James works at Notre Dame. Usher went to the tailgate. Thank you for the donation. Also, that was kind of a cool moment to see Mickey playing in the midst of all this and kind of in his mom's honor. And that's been a long-term battle. Our hearts are with them. But it's kind of a cool thing when a guy is like a football family, and it's like, mom would have wanted me to be here to honor her and play. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family there. And thank you, James, for the nice message. $5 holler from Steven Arado. I apologize for saying ND would score 38. 10-3, let's build on this. That's the idea, is moving this all forward. $18 holla from just one ND gal. Peanut butter game, most fun bowl game since I don't know because cocktails. Well, there you go. Hey, take the blowout. Take the blowout. Pat with the $5 holler. Different Pat.
Not this Pat.
Nice way to finish it. Because you bought your own Always Irish shirt. That's a lot more than $5. Nice way to finish a disappointing season. 10 wins is a thing. Lots of young talent for ND going into a playoff or a bust 24. Happy New Year. Here's the deal with that. Pat, I think we can all agree. 10-2 is the bar now. 10-2 should get you in almost every year if you're Notre Dame. That's going to be the new bar from now on. There's really not much else to discuss. There is no... It's got to be. You're either in it or you're out of the 12-team. Success or failure has never been more clear moving forward.
No, I don't disagree, but I mean, technically, it wasn't 10-2 the bar coming in. I mean, that's what we had from LSU guy.
But there's still nuance 10-2 because that's not a playoff year. So there's nuance on like a good year, but not a great year. Now 10-2 gets you into the tournament. It changes the way you look at 10-2, does it not?
But here's my thing with that. I do think there's going to be a 10-2 team that doesn't get in. Somebody's got to be 13, right?
Yeah,
someone's got to be 13. And with Notre Dame and the way they set up and the way they position themselves and their automatic disqualification from the top 4 Does that mean a 10-2 team gets kicked out of the top 8, top 12? Does that we don't know what this is going to look like. So I don't want to go around saying that Notre Dame is guaranteed the playoff at 10-2. Notre Dame's got to be in the top 12. If 9-3 is in the top 12, fine, whatever. If I'm Notre Dame, when they first came with the playoff, John, we said Notre Dame's got to go undefeated. You got to go undefeated to be in the playoff.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame has to be 11-1 to be safe. To be safe.
Yeah,
because
I think
you're going to lose. Because there's buy-ins too with conference champions and there's scary stuff there.
Yeah,
hey, Dr. John, how you doing, bud?
I think you're going to be able to feel this out. We're going to be able to feel it out as we get going. $10 a holler from Homer TD. Let's go. Looking forward to the offseason with Always Irish. Happy New Year, John and Pat. Happy New Year to you too. Yep, I know Homer TD was busy with a house full of grandkids. He was probably taken care of over the holidays with a lot of moving parts and travel and stuff going on there. Good to hear from you, Tony. V1 Rotate with the $5 holler. Also, these announcers are horrible. They obviously ate ND.
Oh, my God.
It was never something they did something good. It's always OSU did something bad or they're missing players. Dude, these guys were awesome.
Danielson is so bad.
These guys were awesome on the PlayStation game in 2002. That was it, dude. They were awesome because they were the guys on that Sony PlayStation, EA Sports. It's all in the game. They were hot back in 2002. You give me the music, cue to CBS music, and you got those guys. Now, I mean, they said love lacks speed.
Yeah.
Love lacks speed the way they lack preparation. Come on.
The touchdown pass.
Names. Faison had 6 different names in this game. Faison, Fazian, Fazoli's.
I was so mad. Joe, so I'm sitting at the golf course watching it, and Joe's like, why do you keep yelling at the announcers? I go, because they're idiots. He's like, you're not mad about the game. You're mad about the announcers. but the touchdown pass that Angeli missed to Reardon, where he should have been wide open, walked it into the end zone. And he says, and Danielson says, he goes, now if that was Sam Hartman, he has experience with this tight end, so he would have known which way he would have broke. I go, this guy hasn't played either. Yeah. These guys they haven't played. Like, what are you talking about? Have you not watched Notre Dame? Have you not watched any film of Notre Dame this year?
Oh, yeah.
Go read his stat line. You know he is. It says like
you hear playing. They also Mike Evans was playing in the game. Mike Evans was playing in the game. I didn't know that, but I'll take that. Potatoes O'Brien with the $10 holler. Thanks for another season, John and Pat. Only 11 teams on the schedule next season. Who will be the 12th? Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't that supposed to be Miami? And then they backed out of that or something happened.
So I don't know. Maybe you will know better than me, but I heard a rumor that because of the Pac-12 blow up that one of those two teams might get added because they have a scheduling issue.
Yeah.
Or they're just gonna back. They have to put somebody on. So they'll probably end up backfilling with an HBCU again.
Yeah, a $20 holler from the local source. Happy New Year! Thank you for all the content. Looking forward to 24. I am as well. This is a beautiful way to turn the page and go in. Pat, I don't know if this lasted the whole game because I was setting up towards the end out here. Mm-hmm. They had one rushing yard for most of the game. Notre Dame's defense was awesome. And you know what else? Al was getting aggressive. He was sending dudes on 30. He was like, screw it. Yeah. It's the Tony the Tiger. Go get him.
The corner blitz on that off tackle run where Morrison just blows it up 3 yards deep in the backfield. I was like, dude, Al knows what's coming before they call it.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. And then, Pat, I wanted to ask you about this too. I realize Denbrock's not situated when we're not into all that.
Yeah.
That offense looked like it was put together differently in this game to me.
Yes and no. I agree, but I also
thought
disagree.
it looked a little different as far as like early on. I thought the run pass balance was pretty good. I liked the run game, and then a couple passes mixed in. Here's the other thing. There was a lot of moving the pocket a little bit to help Angeli and buy
a lot
him
of that. And I love that. I love that.
And you know what else that helps, Pat? That helps that O-line that's trying to get put together and gel. And they moved the pocket to kind of move him out and buy some time. And then he was able to run a little bit and did better with that than I remember him doing when he did take off. But they were buying more time. So I liked what I saw there. And Steve Angeli, Pat, I don't know what really, he missed a couple throws. You wish you would have felt some pressure and bailed or got rid of the ball a little quicker a couple times.
Sacked a couple times.
But overall, really good job by Angeli. He did really good today.
Yeah, he did good today. I got what I expected out of the offense. It wasn't. This is kind of a weird way to say it. It wasn't better, but it was better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this Notre Dame should have hung 54 points on this team.
Yeah.
If you have Joe Alt and Blake Fisher and Estime and even Hartman, you probably couldn't. Hartman probably wouldn't have mattered. But if you had those guys and maybe a Rico Flores, Notre Dame hangs 50 on this team.
Pat, somebody put it. Do you see how often they showed Hartman?
Yeah, that's because they kept women watching.
Somebody put on there showing Hartman in the Sun Bowl is the same as showing Taylor Swift on all these NFL games. like the best looking star in the building or whatever, we got to show it. And then I thought that interview was a little awkward because there's not really a good answer for Hartman when they're like, oh, the decision to sit out or whatever. I just felt like it was a little of an awkward moment because you could tell he felt a little weird about it too.
Yeah, but I'll give him this. He's there. You know, was Joe Alt there? And I'm not trying to dog on anybody if they weren't there.
I'm pretty sure Joe Alt was there walking around.
Fisher and like a lot of those guys who Cam Hart. I don't know if they were there or not. I mean, they didn't call it out if they were. I understand why they call out Hartman, but he was there. He was supporting the team. He was being a part of it. He just wasn't playing. I think he made not just the best decision for him, but the best decision for Notre Dame because Steve Angeli needed to play this football game.
Yeah.
So I'll give a hat tip. I'll give a hat tip to Sam Hartman. He look, the guy came here and he gave it his all. Was it the best season? No. Could he have done better? Yes. Could Notre Dame have done better for him? Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're not Mike Goolsby, it's hard not to like Sam Hartman. Like, he's a pleasant dude. He says the right things. He's one of the guys. Like, he was at the basketball game the other week with the younger quarterbacks. Like, he's just a hard guy not to like, even though Goolsby, I know things rub him the wrong way. It's hard not to like the guy. But the thing is, man, the greatest news about this is you got a big blowout bowl win. You got your 10 wins. And I feel like everybody just expects things to get better. All those guys making plays are younger. A lot of them are going to be a part of the team. I just feel like is there reason for real optimism, or are we doing the whole Notre Dame thing again where we buy in and want to buy in and then we end up like miserable? But it's hard not to feel momentum, man. The roster's changing. The coaching staff starting to come together where people feel more comfortable.
So I would – it's not a Notre Dame-y offseason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's go.
What do you mean by that? Too many things are in place where they're supposed to be?
Or too many things have happened where like, hey, okay, let's go. Let's roll the clock back a month. Because you and I haven't been able to do this since all this stuff went down. The quarterback coach gets fired, and you got 4 kids leaving the portal in the wide receiver room. Or I'm sorry, the wide receiver coach gets fired. You have 4 kids leaving the wide receiver room, and people are freaking out. Freeman doesn't know what he's doing. All this stuff. He has rebuilt the wide receiver room. He has gotten a wide receiver coach. I don't care what anyone says. Jared Parker was pushed out the door to that head coaching job. You know he was pushed out the door to head coaching job. You knew Jared Parker was not coming back. All right. So he is rebuilt his coaching
So
staff.
wait, whoa. You're breaking news. You think this was all in the works? Like even when the Stuckey thing was going on, that in Freeman's mind, he was thinking, I'm going to be free of all this soon enough.
Yeah.
So you think that was all coming through and you say, but you say push him out. Who wouldn't want a head coaching job, even if that's at a lower level?
But the fact that it's hard to guarantee it. Like I can't say this is exactly what happened, but you damn well know. Like you ever get a recommendation from somebody? Freeman probably gave the most glowing recommendation to Troy. He probably called Troy. He probably said, "This is my guy."
39 a game, baby.
39 points a game.
Hell yeah.
39 points a game. We don't do what we do without this guy. All right. I'm not saying he hoodwinked Troy either, but we know that they're best friends. We know their wives are best friends.
Yeah.
We know Marcus Freeman was tying himself to an anchor if he brought that guy back.
Yeah, it's hey man, it all looks like it's working out, and that guy gets a promotion out of it. He gets to be a head coach. Marcus doesn't have to be a jerk. Everybody wins. Right now, everybody's in a good mood. Mark carded with the $10 hour. Faison is a rock, but Angeli was the MVP. Jordan Faison he's one of those guys,
hey,
Pat.
Good for him.
He's going to move right into Notre Dame lore of like the next guy who like didn't come here to do this, but ends up being a fan favorite. He has got juice. He's got wiggle. He's got jiggle. I just love it. The dude is slippery. Yeah. He's quick. He's tough. It's just beautiful. That guy, I love that dude. And the other thing, Pat, is the passing offense looks a lot better when Jaden Thomas is upright. What a difference it makes when that guy's able to be a guy you could go to.
You know, they showed a stat about his performance in the first 4 weeks of the year and then the rest of the year. And I was like, do they not notice that he was hurt? No, that's the first thing that went through my head. The second thing that went through my head is, holy shit. After he got hurt, the offense slid.
Yeah.
He's just a good player. And I was really happy to see him back, happy to see him perform, happy to see that it's still going to be part of the team next year.
Yeah. Now, here's the next part of this, Pat, and it gets kind of tricky. The next part of this is what's going to happen with Angeli and Minchie in this quarterback room. Like before I started, I was seeing a lot of the chat saying, is Angeli trying out for another team? Like, what are we doing here? And I don't know how it's going to work out. And where does Minchie fall in this? And does he feel like he's not getting a shake? You're not going to hold on to all these guys. It's a matter of if and when and who. Because you're not holding on to all these guys. It ain't gonna happen.
So Minchie, I don't think there's a reason for Minchie to transfer. Period. It's a freshman. For Angeli, I just don't see it. I think Angeli, Drunk Vigo says that Angeli has some legit talent. I agree. I think he does. I think he's been underrated. I think he's taken some big steps this year. Credit to Gino. But yeah, and Angeli played well. I don't look at this as a tryout for another team. I'd look at this as, look, I'm here. I'm ready to play. Let's play football.
Yeah.
We'll know tomorrow. If he's going, he's got to go tomorrow, right? Doesn't it close tomorrow? It's either tomorrow or I think it's tomorrow, Saturday.
See, I don't know what to make of this because would it be a good thing or a bad thing if it turned into a real competition? Or is it just over? Because you're paying one guy all this NIL money, does that make him default the starter or not? Like what happened? Because isn't there a spring portal too, Pat, where if you don't win
there is a spring portal, but it's after spring is over. That's correct.
Right.
That's when Buckner left.
Buckner left. Yeah. And so you would hate to lose them, and I get that sentiment, but also people want you to go after the best guy in the portal you can get. So it's like you don't know. It's just hard to figure out.
So I was told, somebody told me today that there was 1,800 kids that entered the portal. I don't know if this is correct. I'm regurgitating someone else told me. 1,800 kids went into the portal. 35, 30%, something like that, found a new home.
Yeah.
That's a compelling number if that's true.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if you're Steve Angeli and the only resume you have is this one bowl game where you're playing against a team that's kind of ripped apart, lost coaches and players, is that enough to get you a new home where you want to be the Riley Leonard? Like, sure, you want to go down to a MAC team? Fine. You can go down to a MAC team.
Yeah.
I think Angeli has a better chance. And this is what I said about Buckner. You have a better chance at stay at Notre Dame than you do to go somewhere else to find the field sooner.
Yeah, and you know what else too? Angeli just seems so Notre Dame-y to me. Doesn't he seem
He does
like
seem very Notre Dame-y.
He seems
very Notre Dame-y.
extremely like I don't even know that I could tell you exactly what I mean by that. He just seems like the most Notre Dame-ish type of dude. And I'm telling you this, if you ended up with Riley Leonard and then Angeli would be a hell of a backup. And you know what I even liked, Pat? I even liked seeing Carr at the bowl game, just soaking it all in. He wasn't dressed. I even liked just seeing CJ Carr there, just kind of seeing what it's like doing the traveling and all this stuff. And then with that portal thing, Pat, I think you got a lot of guys that maybe think a lot of themselves and they get in that portal and then you don't end up with the suitors, and then that leaves you in a weird spot. It leaves you in a very weird spot.
No, you're right. It does. And that's why I just don't like Angeli can go somewhere. He could probably find a home, but does it give him what he needs? Does it give him what he wants? Is it better than Notre Dame? And I don't think he has his degree yet. And I think he could take some hard lessons learned from Pine and Buckner who are both now back at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And say, maybe that's not the right way to go.
Yeah. And Homer, thank you for that question. Really good one. I forget, it already slid by, Pat, but somebody asked a question and it said, is Angeli an RKG in our eyes? Maybe like RKG plus he's turning into.
Yeah.
Like I'm not ready to go dude, but I think
I don't want to do Brian Kellyisms. I don't want to do.
Well, yeah, but that's why that phrase comes.
You know what I look at? You know what I look at Angeli if he plays his cards right. What I can hope for Angeli. Do you remember McDougal? I mean, we're going way back into the 90s.
Yeah.
Right. 93. He played one season and he played on one of the best teams Notre Dame's ever had. So that's kind of where I see Angeli. Maybe some guys need 4 years. They need it. And Angeli's had 2 years now, because he's a redshirt sophomore, right? He's a junior eligibility wise, so he's had 3 years now, and he's got 2 years left. I think the best bet is for that kid to stay here. But even if he chooses to go, I'm not going to be upset with him at all. Yeah. But Marcus Freeman's whole thing about I need 4 quarterbacks on the roster. The harder he tries to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, the less likely it is he's going to have 4 quarterbacgoing on the roster.
Well, you're always gaining one to lose one. You're always gaining one and losing one.
Exactly. So but he's not going to keep going back to the portal to get a guy, because eventually he's going to have Carr. We'll see what happens with Minchie. He's going to have Deuce. You're not going to bring someone from somewhere else in to start over these guys.
Yeah, and that ties right in. It's perfect. Ties right into merch. Thank you for the $10 holler. I'm tired of all these transfer quarterbacks coming to ND to take us to the Natty just to always fall short. Why can't we just develop for once? Also, thank you for the content, John. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for the donation. Here's what I think. Starting with this next line of quarterbacks, that's the plan. They wanted this to be the last time, and they're hoping they're recruiting guys with a high enough ceiling and a high enough floor that they're not in that position anymore. But the other mistake you could make is hitching your wagon to a guy that isn't the right guy. That could burn you just as quick. So you can only tie your wagon to the right guy, and they're thinking CJ Carr and or Deuce are going to be those guys. So the hope is this is going to be the last one, because I'm going to tell you this. There is no comparison over that last like half dozen quarterbacks from the Kelly era and the kind of guys these guys are going after and getting. It is a different level of potential at the quarterback room.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So
Let's put it this way. There's no Stephen Jelly. There's no guy where you're sitting there like, is this guy going to work out or not?
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Luke Holtz with the donation. I think it's sarcasm. Go figure. Great defense and the greatest first-time start by a Notre Dame quarterback in the last 40 years and maybe of all time. And I don't know if he's being sarcastic or what. No, Merch, I understand he says, I'm just frustrated with the transfers. I get it, because there's no development. It's all or nothing that 1 year. And if you don't do something great, there's no development and you have to start over. I totally understand not liking that. But the only way they're not going to do that is if they attach the wagon to a real dude. And that's what Deuce or Carr need to turn into.
That's what they're hoping for, trying to get to be.
Yeah. And so that breeds stability. It kind of, what you have. There isn't like all these questions in a mad scramble. It would just be nice to know you have a guy that's developing with the team and the guys around him, and they're all getting better for a few years together. I don't think that's a lot to ask for, but you got to hitch your wagon to the right kind of guy. Corey Ruth with the $5. Thank you. I think Freeman is using the portal until the Kelly era guys are gone. There is a little something to that, especially if you look at the quarterbacks.
We'll find out next year.
Yeah.
We'll find out if that very well may be the case. I hope that's the case. I do hope that's the case, but we'll see.
They're really hoping for that. Like from what I'm hearing, that this staff is so high on Carr, more than some of the Notre Dame fans have cooled on him a little bit. Even some of the media has cooled a little bit on Carr. The staff is all in on his traits, and I know nobody likes to hear traits, but they really like what he's looking like. And then everybody tells me Deuce is the type of athlete at quarterback Notre Dame is never. You just don't see that body type at Notre Dame. Very raw, but you don't have that type of athlete at Notre Dame a lot. So they want to be done with it. This will be the last go around. And then maybe we could get further with this guy in this iteration of it than we did with the first couple. That's the hope. Use that good defense. Bring Denbrock in here. You have some better athletes. See if you could cook up a playoff appearance year one.
Well, shouldn't that be the target? I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? Is that you're bringing this guy in for the playoff appearance. You're bringing this guy in to give you the look. He's exactly what Notre Dame's been looking for in an offensive coordinator. What Notre Dame has needed. Say what you want about Tommy Rees. Some hate, some don't hate. He's clearly doing well at Alabama.
Yeah,
Notre Dame guy. I'm happy for him.
And he needs to do well in his next game
exactly. I'm all in on Tommy. I want Tommy to win a national championship at Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that. Say what you want about Parker. He's gone. He's not here anymore. If you liked him, sorry. If you didn't like him, good for you. He's gone. Forget about it. It's all about Denbrock now. And if you want to go back and look at Denbrock as offensive coordinator of Notre Dame, you want to go look at him as offensive coordinator of Cincinnati. You want to go look at him as offensive coordinator of LSU. The one thing I do know is he's been calling offenses for a long time. He's not going to get flustered or he's not going to put us into a situation where he doesn't know what play to call. It's not going to be predictable. He's not just going to drop to a run play because that's the safe thing to do. He's going to be creative, and he's 60 years old. People might be thinking, well, what does that matter? We could have had, a younger guy that's got, he's a brilliant, bright guy. Yeah, we got a guy who probably isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. And now we got two coordinators that are like that.
That's the balance, Pat. Don't you love the balance? It's just about perfect, Pat, because you got old head who doesn't want to make it all about himself and his ego on defense. Old Ed who doesn't want to make it about himself and his ego on offense. Both those guys just want to run their stuff and prop up the main guy in the middle and let him be the main guy. It's beautiful balance. I've been begging for it. I've been begging for this.
for the longest time, Notre Dame fans have been wanting Brian Kelly to be the CEO, to let your offensive coordinator do the job, because let's be honest, when Tommy Rees was the offensive coordinator until the Cincinnati loss and Kelly's last season, he was calling the offense, and he had the small stretch with Chip Long, but he was calling the offense, and then now you have an actual situation where the head coach can look over everything, and this sounds dumb to be excited about, and if you're a Notre Dame fan, you're probably like, we should never be excited about this. Now he can actually learn to be a coach.
Yeah,
I know when Marcus Freeman was hired, what I was getting when you're hiring a guy who was 2 years younger than I am. I know what you're getting.
yeah,
and I was willing to accept that as long as you put the resources around him. For the first 2 seasons, I don't think the resources were around him. I do think they are now. And from what I'm being told, the Notre Dame administration has said, to hell with this. We're going to be Notre Dame again. Let's wind this clock back to 1988 and win.
Okay, I'm not going to go that far with it, but I'm going to say this, Pat.
One of my drapes, my wife likes them. I can do nothing else about it.
Does the carpet match the drapes at Pat's house? All I want to do.
I have hardwood floors.
Oh, I missed the live shows.
Oh God, I'm so glad. I am so glad my wife is not
in the live shows. I really do. Oh my God, what were we even talking about? Oh, 88. What were we talking about? Now I'm off.
I said it appears from this.
Oh,
this
no. Wait.
Notre Dame administration wants to win again.
You know how harshly I critique the administration as far as the concept of, right when Notre Dame's this worldwide brand, you don't feel like you need to put as much resources into what made it, that being football, being elite, that grew the brand for 100 years, whatever. I am the first one that always nails them on that point.
Yeah.
Pat, in the last month, I got to admit, there are a lot of changes going on. Some of them a lot more rapidly than I ever, even on the high end, was ready to give Notre Dame credit for. I am told NIL is never going to be a problem. If Notre Dame wants to get a guy, Notre Dame can make a competitive offer with anybody in the country, but it has to be the right situation and the right guy. They're about to announce the expansion or the renovation or the new football facility that's about to come through. They're getting a little more wiggle room with some of the transfer, like the amount of guys they're able to work with, and they're starting to loosen the reins on a little bit of that. And Pat, I got to tell you, they want to support Marcus. I know people are, I'm a Marcus lover and everything, whatever. I'm telling you, it matters. The kind of relationship that guy has with those power brokers matters. They like him and they want to support him and they want to work with him. They do.
Correct. And I caught an LSU show where they were complaining about why did Notre Dame just decide to get behind Marcus Freeman and not Brian Kelly? And I was putting in there, I was like, what's the obvious answer to this question? Of course, they wouldn't respond to it. But it was Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
You got a guy that didn't want to work with people. And now you got a guy that he's doing everything he can to work with people.
Yeah. And now, Pat, that didn't always used to be the case. I want to be very, very fair here. But over time, that relationship soured. And it was basically a standoff, Pat. They wanted things of Kelly he wasn't willing to do. Kelly wanted things of them they weren't willing to do. Everybody was kind of waiting for somebody else to make the move. And that's how that just kind of fizzled out. But I'm telling you, they really do like Marcus. They appreciate the way that he works. They appreciate the relationships and the way that he treats people. And I always get made fun of when I say that matters more than people want to admit around Notre Dame. It does. It matters.
It does. It does. Hold on. No, I drive a Honda Odyssey, and my wife drives a Honda Odyssey, and I drive an F-150. The people are freaking out because I put my northeast wing of my house.
Wait till you sell. Wait till you show them a tour of that cellar you got in the basement, buddy.
Oh, the dungeon.
Jeez, you got the people down there making the Always Irish shirts or something down in your basement.
It was part of the Underground Railroad.
Oh man, it is, your basement's a scary place. But so
it was a joke. It was a joke. My house is not that old.
All right. This is a really good question. Yes, stop hump faking. Honestly, I have a question for Notre Dame fans. What are Marcus Freeman expectations now, and what is his window? Very, very interesting, because I believe I heard from Freeman's camp they would be interested in having discussions about maybe an extension onto his original deal, but that wasn't going to happen kind of the way some of this year went. What that looks like. Aren't the expectations you got to be in that playoff every year? People are going to be pissed off. Whether that's 11-1, whether it's 11-1 or 10-2 or 12-0, I think it's playoff or it's a failed year from now on. Whatever that number is, it's playoff or failure.
Okay, yes, fine, correct. It's playoff or failure. That's fair. It's not. Like if you go 10-2,
let's just put Drew Pine as in Pat's dungeon, and I don't know why that's so funny to me to just picture Drew Pine down there, and you like putting food on the top step and then locking the door.
Anyways, so
isn't it funny how the littlest thing sends us off the cliff here? The littlest
totally kill that train of thought.
It sends us.
So yeah, no, you're right. Let's get back on topic, because my wife said she went to go pick up the kids from her parents, and I have 4 minutes before she gets back. So let me get this out, because then I have to leave. The objective now from here on out is playoff. Now, if you go to 3 playoffs and over 4 seasons, yeah, that's you're not meeting your goal, but it's not fireable. But year 3, John, he's coming up on year 3, and you and I both know what that means.
Yep,
that's the expectation. Year 3 is the expectation. Okay, Lou did it, Era did it, Frank did it, Divine did it. It's year 3. Kelly went and got embarrassed. It's year 3.
Yeah, it is. And man, this valley with Freeman, up and down, just a rocky first 2 years on the field, off the field, all of the moving pieces. It has been up and down. I honestly feel like things line up stability wise pretty well for next year. Like, just when I look at it, offense, defense, I have pieces I trust leading those units there. I have enough guys returning that I like. One more thing before I let you go, Pat. What did you make of the offensive line all reconfigured? What did you make of them overall?
It definitely looked like a first week offensive line, not a week, 13 offensive line.
Yeah.
But I think that the left tackle, I can't say his name. He's going to be everything he's advertised to be.
Yeah, Jagged.
And also they looked bigger. They looked, just when they took the field, they looked, God damn, where were these guys? These guys are a lot bigger than what they looked like before. And now I guess, it's all different guys, so that makes sense. But I was like, were we really playing?
Yeah.
I know I heard other people mention it, that we were playing with an undersized line. I didn't really notice it until these guys took the field.
Yeah, and you know what else too? And Goolsby looks at all of this with the training he does and knows how to look at. He knows what to look for. He's been saying it too. This roster's changing, and they're getting longer and more athletic, and they're getting deeper. And every time the page turns, I mean, I'm not trying to be this guy, but the further you get away from Kelly's way of building a team and into this new Varish of how they want to do it, It's getting longer and more athletic and deeper. Now it needs to
why?
all come together on the field, though. All of this,
exactly,
and the quarterbacks, and we don't want to do it. All has to come together at some point.
Well, like the biggest thing is it looks different when you look at these kids.
Yeah.
They look different. They're bigger. They're stronger. They're faster. They seem more ready to. They seem. I don't know if it was a coaching decision for these guys not to play young during Brian Kelly's time, but there's clearly not a concern with playing some of these younger guys on this team. And they look different. They're playing younger. They're getting more experience. They're faster. They're stronger. They're bigger. But all that is great. All that is great until you tie it together.
Yeah.
And they got to play together. They got to play like a team. And I have very high hopes for this team next year with Denbrock coming in, with Leonard coming in, with the offensive line the way it looks, with the running backs that we have returning, with the rebuilt wide receiver room, and what I think is going to be one knockout defense.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this defense. You know me, I'm a defense guy. So I used to watch the Bears with Brian Urlacher and Peanut Tillman and Mike Brown and Lance Briggs. I used to watch Bear games when the defense was on the field. I would watch, and when the offense, when Cade McNown or someone came in, I'd shut it off. I was like, I got no interest in. I would just watch it for the defense.
Yeah, and you know what else too? If you want to think about that, Week 1, Texas A&M, I feel really good. If you can feel like you're running a really good defense in there and then see what you can get on offense, that's a good one. I like your chances in that situation. If you're going to play defense like that, I'm interested.
I am not as worried about that game as most other people are for two reasons. Number one, Texas A&M is going through a hell of a transition. They got a new coach, and they've had they're going to have a lot of roster turnover. They got a whole new coaching staff. Very rarely, Notre Dame's going to be a top 10 team to start the season. Very rarely can you hold off a top 10 team at the start of the season. And I don't think A&M has fixed their problem. I don't think Jimbo Fisher was a problem, but I don't think he was the only problem. I think their boosters are a problem. Their boosters have carte blanche to their head coach. And that's going to be a problem, especially for a guy like Al Golden. And you have to fix that problem to fix what A&M is doing.
Yeah, and you know what I joked about?
And also you can lose a game next year.
Mike Elko is almost too classy to play in this oil money with those guys. Like, I think so much of Mike Elko. I almost hope he goes to them and go, I get what you guys are doing with good intentions, but can we rein it in and do it a little more controlled? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because I just think the world of them. But again, I want to think like you do. Elko's going to do good things there, but it shouldn't be a finished product week 1. They got a lot of loose ends to try and put together. And it's weak. I get that it's at home. Look at me. I'm already getting worked up, Pat. We just got done with the last game this year. And now I'm all upset about that game. But the reality is, Pat, that is your next big opportunity, your big moment in a big game against a big time team in a situation. That's Notre Dame's next moment to make a stand. And all August, we're going to hear the SEC people. Notre Dame doesn't belong. They're going to get blown out. They'd go 6-6 in the SEC every year, whatever. And you need to go in there and shut that up. That's your next opportunity. Nothing you could do today was going to change the overall narrative, and it shouldn't, even if you won 100-0. That's going to be your next time to be able to walk in there in an SEC environment and go, you ain't all that you think you are. We're taking this win at your place.
Exactly. Marcus Freeman is set up for a run like Kelly had in 12. He's set up for it. He's going to have a better coaching staff. He's going to have better players. He might actually have a football team that can do it.
Yeah. The other thing that I ponder is, I've been really thinking about this. If Al Golden stays and there's no NFL thing or anything weird with that, and you have Golden and Denbrock, and you absolutely have trust in both of those units, the guys running those units, how much does that free Freeman up for the stuff he needs to get better at? And I don't know how to quantify that, but it has to free him up even in his mind to know that he could trust what's going on out there. And then I would like him to take a jump in efficiency in his part.
That's exactly what's going to happen. And I think he's in a position where he's got a defensive coordinator that has been a head coach. He's got an offensive coordinator that's been around forever. He can actually rely on these guys to make these decisions and help him. Yeah. And it's not going to be, should we run it? Yeah, let's run it. It's going to be, I'm going to run it. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's going to be Freeman saying, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Let me worry about the timeout. Let me worry about yelling at the referees. That's what he needs. Let me worry about the little detail that I'm seeing on the field that you're not seeing in the box. It should free him up to be a head coach. And I think Freeman has all the parts to be a great head coach. And in 3-4 years, maybe he can hire an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator with not a lot of experience, but we'll see. Right now, let's go beat Texas A&M.
Yeah, and I think the ideal, you got to go.
Go ahead.
I think the ideal succession plan on defense would be Al Golden to Mickens. That would be ideal because they love that guy. He's an up-and-comer, Freeman's guy, all of that from Cincinnati. That's what I want.
Yeah. No, I agree.
If you could keep him around long enough and then be able to do that to where Al goes and then Mickens slides over and he's under Al, that's a beautiful scenario there.
I said the biggest thing for the coaching staff was finding the right offensive coordinator, keeping Golden, and now you got to go keep Mickens.
Yeah,
you got to go keep Mickens. You got to figure out a way to keep him. So the hat tip to Gilmore. I know he's always big on that. We got to keep Mickens on the roster.
Yeah. Nope. I absolutely agree with that. So I don't know, man. This was, if you had to be in this bowl game, it was beautiful. Like that's what you wanted. If you're gonna have to be in this is what you wanted. Like Notre Dame kicked the shit out of it. And I know that, and then it's like I keep hearing, well, look at how down and out Oregon State. That's the point. This is what you do to a team that looks like that. This is what you do to a
bad football team, right?
Notre Dame's played a lot of teams that aren't great. We made them look better than they are. This is what you do when you play a team in that position.
When you play a down and out football team, this is what you do to them. And Notre Dame did what they're supposed to do to them. And so, good job, Notre Dame. Great job, Marcus Freeman. Great job to the players and the assistant coaches. And I think now we got a nice ramp to lead us into this, to the spring for the Always Irish spring tailgate, blue and gold tailgate.
I'm telling you,
I'm excited.
I think spring is going to have a lot of excitement, Pat. People are actually finding a reason to really get excited. And my number one reason is the number one biggest part of this I was afraid was going to hold it all and weigh it down has been freed. And it turned from a negative to a positive. I'm sorry, dude, that Denbrock thing was that big of a deal just for me to have confidence of a guy that could put together a game plan to maybe get a first down against a good team.
All right, I got to go. I got so much more, but I got to go. Have a great rest of the show. Good to see everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Pat, thank you for spending the time to get in here. And everybody wants to know what you're going to do for New Year's Eve. They want to know your party plan. Give them that on the way out. What's the party plan? Are we having a sleepover with the girls, all the kids?
Well, that's what I like to do. I used to like to let my kids watch New York and tell them that was New Year's Eve, and then we go to bed.
Yeah.
But this year, my wife got me roped into a New Year's Eve party that the kids are invited to. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll just have to stay awake till midnight for a change.
Yeah. Well, drink your beer, man. Drink your Miller Lights.
Yeah. Guinness, man. I was rocking Guinness today. Have a good show. Happy New Year, everyone. Always Irish Nation. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for being here, Pat. Have a good meal. Tell everybody I said hi.
Later.
See ya. Oh, man. I love it when Pat joins. He livens things up. Here's a good one. Irish Blue Devil forever. John, you still thinking Miami, Ohio as the tailgate game? We are. So we're going to do one of them for blue and gold, and we're going to have the full setup. I think Goolsby's going to try and go. We're going to have the same group, same setup. And then we have selected Miami, Ohio as the official game one for next year, figuring early enough in the year, the weather's still warm. We should not have enough losses that there is no vibe and no energy. Those are what I look for. And It can't be a huge game because I am not in the mood. Leading into the Ohio State game is not the time for me to have a public tailgate where I'm out doing the meet and greet and all that. I can't. That's too much. That's too much. Like, I just couldn't do it in my brain to be like, Ohio State was too big of a moment for me to want to be glad ending in the parking lot. Like, I ain't wired for that for Ohio State. Central Michigan, go for it. Miami, go for it. So it's going to definitely be Miami, Ohio. Everybody's invited. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Okay. What else did I want to mention here? I had a couple of these chats. Look at this. I appreciate the people giving me a hard time. You're not even taking any calls. Bring up the callers. I don't have my phone. I don't have my other screen. I don't have any of my accoutrement. I don't have my mixer. I don't have my mic. Oh. Cody Coons. That damn Clemson game kept Freeman from breaking Weiss' win record after the first 2 years. You know what, you guys? I got to tell you that that Clemson game still bothers me. That Clemson game still bothers me. I can't let it go. I can't let it go. Like, you had Clemson dead to rights. Dabo was arguing with the fan base, like he was saying, maybe we should lose a few more. Nobody should come. He's arguing with the radio callers. Everybody's losing their minds. They're down, ready to be. And then we just said, no. You need CPR. Here you go. And we brought it all back to life. It was unbelievable. Brought them all back to life. Where's the golf clubs that were on the wall, John? We're leaving first thing in the morning to go home. So we take everything, all the decorations off, just so they don't get moldy or wet in the salt water, air, whatever we have here. So the Clemson game bothers me because you were not ready to play. The plan was the worst you could ever imagine possible on offense. The Louisville game pisses me off because it was their Super Bowl and we weren't invited, weren't interested in playing. And you found out they're not a world-beating team, but they looked like it against us. And then Ohio State, Notre Dame had them beat. And any one of a dozen other decisions or plays goes a little different. You win the game. So I don't know. It's very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Hey, John, is it chilly by you? 50-ish here in Otter Creek. We're in Hobe Sound, right by Stuart, Florida, and it's probably like 50, maybe a little warmer than that, but it's like I'm outside. It's warm enough. I have jeans and a little jacket on. We didn't get much sun here in Florida. John, at any point during the game, did you scare little John yelling today? No, I did not. I was relatively calm, writing my notes, minding my own business. He took a little nap. We had no disasters, no blowouts from me or little Johnny. Everybody remained unscathed. I didn't get no tan at all, Adam. No sun. I got a little sun, but not like pool sun. So you're not getting any tan from me. The Ohio State game still makes me ache. That one's going to last. That one's going to last. Like that is bigger than a one-game situation. That was a big moment we let slip by. And you know what? You got to look at it as now that that's over and the pain is what it is, Notre Dame wasn't ready yet. It wasn't their moment. All the things that conspired to us ending up losing that game tell you, you're not ready yet. You didn't deserve it yet. You didn't earn it yet. You're not there yet. There's no other way to process that now other than one. Well, you could do it two ways: depression eternally, or look at it as a sign from the football universe. You are not there yet. You have not done enough. You have not earned that enough. And use that as motivation. So when you're in that moment against Texas A&M, you make that one play. Pilney 35. The biggest takeaway is the improvement in recruiting. Freeman and his priority on recruiting showed today. Pilney, this is going to be the engine that drives wherever the Freeman era ends up going. This roster's changing for the better. Period. This roster is changing for the better. They are getting faster, longer, deeper, and more athletic. They are. Now, it all has to come together. It doesn't really mean that much. All of those individual pieces have to come together and form a winning unit. And that part remains to be seen, but you got to have the ingredients. This roster's getting a lot better. It just is. It just is. You're getting deeper. Notre Dame's not in a situation anymore where it's like if the starter goes down, you're like, oh, well, we're losing this game. We have to play one backup, and we only have starters. So it's like, come on. So I don't know. But listen, I understand people that say, recruiting, whatever, potential, whatever, it all has to come together. That is 100% correct. And Notre Dame, John, let us call your cell phone. Even if you called my cell phone, I don't have a way to hook it into the streaming thing. I don't have my mixer that hooks it all up and does it. You want it, and if you called me and I put you on speaker, there's going to be a big echo. What I'm saying is, it all has to come together, but the ingredients have to be there. And you're starting to get those ingredients. This roster's, it just looks different. It's put together different. The way this staff evaluates talent and looks for what they want is different. I see people talking about the kicker. I got to tell you, can you just make the kicks? Can you just make the kicks? I know 70% over the year or whatever, but it's like you can't miss the one you missed against Ohio State. And it's always with this kicker, look at how big of a leg he has. Look at how far he could kick. But if it isn't straight, it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do you any good. It's just like a 300-yard drive. But if it's hooked or sliced, what does it get you? 300 yards doesn't do you any good in a field out of bounds. It's got to be straight. You have one freaking job, just one. Just one. Adam Bowers. Yes, John, we want your cell so we can blow you up at all hours of the day. Oh, if I put my cell phone out, I'll be getting troll called all day. You think the troll chats are bad? Wait till they do that. Mark with glasses. Victory chain still in Chicago all by itself? If so, it's probably been stolen. It's on the desk where I used to record, man. It's on the desk where I used to record. And I didn't bring it because I just didn't want to travel. What am I going to pull out a big chain jewelry and explain to them why I'm beeping at the airport? What am I going to say? I'm Flavor Flav, let me through. This is just a part of how I travel or what? Oh man, I did see the hook he made. I don't need a kicker that brings me more stress. I need less stress in my life. Oh, what else? I had a couple more chats I wanted to get to here. When is everybody going to realize the transfer portal is going to be a factor moving forward? The second the transfer portal became where you don't have to sit out. That's not a secret. I understand this is sarcasm. The second they made the no sit out transfer thing, you knew this was going to be a big factor every year. But what you're referring to is a nuance because we were talking about the quarterback, the starting quarterback specifically at Notre Dame. Not going to the transfer portal to fill a bunch of ancillary spots and depth guys, maybe get a receiver here or get this or that. Quarterback's different when you're interrupting that flow of development of your young guys and you're doing that, the transfer quarterback that's going to start when you're doing all that. That's different because it's interrupting all that development and it's one or done. And if you don't win it all, it's a big disappointment. Notre Dame wants that to be over. They're still going to use the portal for all the other stuff. I'm just talking about getting portal happy to where every time a guy you grew in a house, it becomes his turn in the line, you get jumped. That's what people are talking about being frustrated with Notre Dame. The portal overall isn't going anywhere, and Notre Dame's going to continue to be more involved in it as the years go by. Here's something else I've seen a little bit too. I've seen this. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, the StreamYard thing? I don't even know what you mean by that. Do you mean give the StreamYard link out so anybody can come up here like Pat did? Because I don't know what you're talking about. If there's an option here to call in through this, I don't know. But if you just mean to send out the link so people could jump in here, I don't know what you mean by the StreamYard suggestion. Is that what you mean? I don't know. Here's something else we need to think about. And I saw this on Twitter as the game was ending. Okay, the link is what you mean. Okay, I understand. People were saying Angeli's better than we thought. Like there was a Twitter thread and it was saying Angeli looks really, really good here. Do we have an awkward and even Homer TD, your camera's very good. You are rocking a bit of gray in your beard. Oh, well, I did talk about Brian Kelly for 5 minutes. Maybe that's why you saw more gray, Tony. And I think it's also the lighting out here on this patio right above my head. I don't know. There was a thread about Angeli did so good. Does this make things turn awkward for Marcus Freeman when if he could come in there and push Riley Leonard? I don't know. I don't know Angeli's ceiling. Do any of you feel like you have a really good gauge on the high end of exactly where Angeli's athletic ceiling is? And then this is where Patrick comes in. Great win, but Angeli played against a team that was crushed by the portal and Pac-12 collapse. We need to chill a little, but the boys played quality football. It's a good question to ask. It is a good question to ask. And I think it's fair if we want to credit what happened today. I do think it's fair that we remind everybody their team was in shambles. Like, great job by us, but they were struggling to put a team out there. Patrick says, I understand, John, but the goal is to win a natty. College football at this level is no longer developmental. Angeli deserves a chance to compete for the starting job. That's it. I agree with you. Angeli definitely deserves a chance to compete for the starting job for sure. But what gets very interesting is when you do NIL and you go to a collective and you get a bunch of money released and earmarked for one guy, are there expectations that come with that? I don't know. That's what I want to ask. Wherever that money comes from, are there expectations with that? Or is it just, we want this guy, we want to secure him, then you go do what you're going to do? Or is it, we're not paying this much to get a guy to come here from Duke unless that guy's going to play? Marcus, are you on board with that? I don't know how that works. That's one part of this NIL thing I genuinely don't know the answer to. I don't. here's the thing, and Jelly deserves a shot, but it's bigger than that. Good teams play the best player. They don't play favorites. Playing favorites is not the way to build a good team. Totally fine. I want you to run out there and have a real competition. I think that'd be healthy and good for everybody. I really do. I really do. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of these chats. There's been a bunch of them, and I want to make sure I honor all the super chats. $10 holler from the V1 Rotate. If you're a quitter and opt out of a bowl game and an opportunity to be a part of something special, such as winning as a team, you should have to sit in the stands like the rest of us. There are mixed reviews on that, Rotate. Very mixed reviews on that. I have heard both. Don't you love that Hartman opted out, but he's still in there being with the guys supporting the team? And isn't that great that he's there supporting them on? What a team guy. I saw tweets all day saying that. And then I also saw tweets saying, if you opt out, why the hell are you there? Like, if you're healthy and you opt out, why are you there? You're no longer a part of this. I've seen both sides of that. Pilney 35, $20 holler. Thank you. We will see OSU again sooner than later if we continue to ascend as a program. They will be in the way. And the 12-team playoff opens the door for a rematch. Game of the century, too. That's the other thing. Think about some of the unique, cool playoff matchups we're going to get. Teams that usually don't line up and would never play each other that are going to crisscross in weird ways in all this. I'm here for it. It is going to be intriguing. Notre Dame could end up in some awesome, really creative playoff games. It's really, really going to be good to see. Pilney with the recruiting. Again, I agree. Pilney. A part of the reason I was okay going down the road of having a head coach younger than I was only if I trusted him as a guy, personality-wise, and I do, totally. And if he had relentless work ethic in recruiting, and he does, totally, and the staff does, totally. You were starting to see the fruits of that labor. This roster's starting to turn over. I beg people, if we could all be a little more patient with this. And I know, trust me, you guys, I'm at the oldest end of the first generation that's never seen Notre Dame win a championship because I was too young to remember it. I'm the last guy that wants to preach patience to Notre Dame fans, but I'm telling you, this talent is changing. And if we could all be a little more patient with this supporting coaching staff, the increase in talent, Mark is getting better at his part. That's where things snowball in a good direction. And we're just about to start to get into that phase. Not quite there, but just about to get there. You could see it building. You could see the roots. You could see the seeds planted. You could see it. It's just, it hasn't all wrapped together just yet. And I think that's hopefully where this is trending. Adam Bowers, $5 holler. The future is bright. I love this show in the Patreon. I'm calling it within 3 years, we'll be national champions. We have all the pieces. Now, again, Adam, thank you so much for the support, both here and on Patreon. I'm really seeing the roster change rapidly, and in a good way. It is. It's just, you still need some leaders to emerge. You need the right stars that come together to support each other. Like, there's a lot of things that have to come together, man, but the balance on this staff right now breeds so much comfort and confidence. Just the balance. Al Golden over here running his thing. No ego, wants to support Marcus, make him the main dude. Denbrock over here, old head, seen it all. No ego, wants to work to make Marcus the main guy, make him look good. The trust and balance factor here is awesome. It is exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want. Then you pair that with that talent and the head coach getting better at the in-game stuff. Hot damn, now we're cooking. Now you're in a position next year where I'm not doing this from the Tony the Tiger ball. But it's something bigger. Oh, Mark with glasses. I love you. God bless you. Carr as potential. Where have we heard that before? Mark, it's the fairest thing for you to say. I can't tell you that's not fair. All we ever hear about as Notre Dame fans is potential, 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 potential. And then it's failure, 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 and you never get any of the potential. My whole cognizant existence of Notre Dame fanhood has been based on potential and nothing else. I totally understand that fear, but I'm telling you, it's being built different. It's being built different. I don't know how else to say that. It's being put together differently. And it makes me think. It makes me think about this. Follow me here down the path on this Notre Dame theory. And these are some conversations I had early year one when things were really rough with Freeman and getting this all off the ground. And multiple people said to me, we had these discussions, and they're saying, John, what if this thing needs to be burnt down to the ground way more than it already is, and it just has to totally be kind of bottomed out and rooted out and regrown? And it couldn't be a situation where you just pick off from where, 10 or 11 wins and just go straight from there up. What if it really had to be rooted out from the ground level and then regrown back up? And I'll be damned if entering year 3, it doesn't feel like that's what we did. All of the previous Brian Kelly-ness and Notre Dame-ness and Reese-ness, not Reese pieces, Reese-ness. It's gone. It's Freeman's DNA all over this now. It's Freeman, 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 Freeman. And that excites me. And it's also a lot of pressure. Because once you don't have all that ancillary Notre Dame guy support, Evan, then it's you on an island. And then you either sink or swim. And that's why it was so important that Freeman knew what he was doing with that offense and figured all that out. And you ended up leaving this cycle with the offensive coordinator that knows Notre Dame, loves Notre Dame, knows your head coach, loves your head coach, just coached to Eisman and the number one offense in the country that averaged 46 points a game. What's not to like? What's not to like? I'm just telling you, things are changing. Things are changing. It is just, I feel bad asking Notre Dame fans for a little more patience. But I'm telling you, it's being built different this time. It really is being built different this time. And I already see people putting in the chat, my number one complaint about Notre Dame and signing day is early signing day, Notre Dame's way up there. And then the hat flipper day comes after the new year. And then you log in and you're like top 10 Notre Dame. And it's like 17 or 18. And then I'm mad. It happens every year. Maybe it cannot happen this year. What do we got to do to get a hat flip? If we're flipping hats, get some cats to flip some Irish hats. Steven, I've been alive for a natty, but I don't remember what it was like. You guys, that's my dream. That's my dream. Can we flip some? Tom, why can't we flip somebody? Get in the flip game. There aren't that many top 250 guys still out there. Go find one committed somewhere else and go, look what we got cooking. Come on over here, baby. Look at this. Look at our guy. He's back. Kent, it's good to see you, man. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I've been emailing back and forth with Kent a little bit. And it's good to see you out and about. Great win, guys. Next year be great. Sorry I've been absent. Kyle McCord literally drained me. I'm so passionate about my team. The dude mentally and emotionally killed me. Kent, you're a real one, man. And even when he wasn't on the chat, he was emailing me back and forth. We kept in touch. God bless you, Ken. I hope you and your family had a good Christmas and a good New Year. So I'm just saying, we've been down this patience and potential track before, but never with Notre Dame being built differently. It was a lot of Notre Dame doing the same stuff, and then you just in your mind hoped it would be differently. This time they really are building it differently. The way this staff evaluates talent 100% better than any Kelly staff did. This staff knows what they're looking for. They evaluate at a different level than any Kelly staff. They're just better at it, and I think they work at it more. It's changing. And it's going to be, it's changing, and I think we're going to like it. Let me see what else I had here. What else did I click on? Tom Chris, thanks for the $10 holler. Good win, not the season we hope for, but the offseason will be exciting. Thanks, John, for all the content, all you guys do to give us a place to vent and celebrate. That's what we're here for, man. And I'm excited to see you guys, too. Hopefully you'll be at the Blue and Gold tailgate. Man, I saw these guys at the Blue and Gold tailgate. The NIL event with Hartman. They were at the real game tailgate. Man, I love you guys hop in the car, hit the road from Kentucky, come over to South Bend. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, man. All right. I wanted to look at just a couple stats here, and then we'll wrap this up. We'll go an hour and a half. That's better than what Brian Kelly's salary probably ate up 90% of the football budget. That guy. Unbelievable. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these stats, and then we'll get out of here. In Jelly, 15-19, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, though. That's the big thing. You had the little fumble on the run, but no interceptions. Like, that's what you needed from Angeli, is not to let anything stupid happen. And sure enough, you got it done. The Notre Dame rushing game, it seemed like at times, like it wasn't fully clicking. 244, you're going to take 244 in this bowl situation. Look at this, you guys. This is really a low bar. Jordan Faison, 115 receiving yards. I totally realize that's a low bar, but for Notre Dame to get a receiver over 100 is a good day in my book. A month ago, it would have taken us 4 games to add together all the stats to get a guy to 100 yards. I'll take what I could get. 2 yards rushing. 2 yards rushing. 2. That's all the stats I needed to see. 2 yards rushing. That's unbelievable. Angeli had the best first-time start for a Notre Dame QB. Yeah, and I don't care. Oh, I know it was against a team with a lot of problems. Yeah, that's why you're supposed to do this. And I'm telling you what else. That defense did exactly what I needed that defense to do. They did it. Exactly. Everything I needed that defense to be today is exactly what they were. I just love everything about it. It's exactly what I wanted. And we went into this saying the defense is going to have to carry the day to make this all work the right way. They're going to have to carry the, and they did. They did. It's a beautiful thing. What a great way to end the year. You're in a bowl game nobody wants to be in, and you just kick the shit out of the team. If you had to be in it, this was the best way to do it. So I commend Notre Dame for that. What do I need to happen next? Couple things. Number one, I need Tommy Rees to open up a can on Michigan. I need Harbaugh to jump to the Chargers or the Bears or to go to the NFL to get ahead of sanctions or whatever. Then I need Brian Kelly to leave LSU high and dry and go to Michigan. You want that's my New Year's resolution, is for me to react to see all of that happen. It would all be hilarious. It would all be hilarious. So that's what I would like to happen. Brian Kelly of Michigan would just be the ultimate touch 'em all cult with a new leader and a guy that loves that attention. Kelly would love that cult attention. They would just be all over Kelly. In a way, we question him. They would just love him. He's the new leader. They would wrap their arms around him, and he would be the new cult leader, and he would be presiding over the big house. And the LSU people would be all mad. They would be all miserable. They would want to be mad at Kelly, but then that would show they agree with us that you can't trust Kelly fully, and they wouldn't want to do that to be aligned with Notre. It would put them in a bad spot scrambling. I want it all to happen, okay? Tommy, dial up, open up a can on them guys. Harbaugh jumps to the NFL to get out of trouble. And then our man Brian comes back to the North and he goes to Michigan. It would just be a touch-em-all moment, a touch-em-all moment. All right, folks, we've gone an hour and a half. I got a couple articles to write, a post-game show to record to put out tomorrow as a video. I really appreciate the patience you guys have with the technology. I don't have my microphone. My timing's been off. Haven't been able to do the call-in shows. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me when I've recorded stuff here and put it out. Really, really appreciate it. So I just want to thank everybody. Also, right as I was getting ready to come to Florida, we did pass the 10,000 mark on YouTube. That was a big number for me, a priority of me to get to by the end of the year. I wanted to push it a little bit. And we're almost near 10.2 now. So, again, I appreciate it. There is none of this stuff without you guys. Getting to the 10,000 was a level that was a big deal for me to reach. All the donations for you guys that you bring in here, it all helps. It all helps. Text. What's the 24 sub goal? Man, I'd like to get aggressive and gain like 4,000 or 5,000 people in a year by trying to really crank it up a little bit and maybe do a little more wrapping in other college football teams, not just Notre Dame, but other bigger happenings to pull more people in. Keeping it Notre Dame focused, but bringing in some other stuff. So if we could gain another 4 or 5K or something, that'd be a really good little bounce off. 20K would be doubling. That's asking a lot in a year, but I would love it. I'm in a niche of a niche of a niche. It's seasonal. It's not all college football. It's just mostly us. It's a niche of a niche of a niche. So even if you got it cooking, it's hard to get it to grow. But man, I love doing this with you guys. So thank you guys to, Luke Holtz. I remember when Pigskin was saying, let's get this man to 1,000 so he could go live. Luke, you have been around a while. You've been around a while because that was many, many years ago where I was under 1,000 and went on Pigskin Pete's show trying to say Notre Dame had a chance in the playoff game against Clemson. And look how that worked out. Look how that worked out. Brian Kelly's caddy, I don't think I will be getting that invitation. That is more than fine with me. In fact, I'm certain I'm never going to get that invitation. And that is more than fine with me. Everybody does their own thing. I have my lane. I'm happy to stay in it. Everybody else has their lane. They stay in it. We all do our thing. All right, everybody. Go watch the rest of these games tonight. Have fun. I'll be traveling tomorrow, and then I'll be able to get back on schedule. But, man, thank you guys for everything. Just all the viewership. This call-in show after the games is the reason why this thing grew like this. That's where we got a lot of action. It wasn't all good. We had some bad long nights. But that's what it's all about. So, but thank you to everybody. And I got some new segments coming up on Always Irish. Stay tuned after the new year. Mark with Glasses helped me on something here. I got a new segment I think you guys are going to like. So stay tuned for that. I'll drop a teaser of it, but the wheels are always spinning. So thank you, everybody, for the whole year. I really, really appreciate it. $10 holler on the way out, Ryan Elliott. Good win going into the offseason. Good things to come looking to 24. Thank you very, very much. I love you guys. There is none of this without you. Thank all of you very, very much. Enjoy the rest of the night.